What is up, Amazing Race fans? We're here on Amazing Reviews to recap the Amazing Race Season 34 finale. Joining me tonight is the one, the only Calbert. Calbert, how you doing?
I'm doing this show under protest and only because it's the finale. So that's how I'm doing.
Goldberg. Goldberg is joining us here tonight. And rumor has it he was hanging out with some fellow Amazing Race alumni. How you doing, Goldberg?
I'm good. I mean, you can't see me right now, but I'm taking a bow based on my pick this season. So,
yeah. You know, I just want to say, I know what your strategy is. I know it is pick the most annoying team that you can possibly pick. That's what it is.
It was the team that annoying, or was only half the team that annoying?
I don't know if they were annoying. I think they were cringy at parts.
Agreed.
Maybe cringy. Sure. Maybe not. Maybe they weren't that annoying, I guess.
Half the team was cringier than the other half, I think.
Yeah, they were. So I am just happy to get this season over with because my team was never eliminated. So, hey,
your team is like the team in like a Royal Rumble that just hung around the outside the whole time. Maybe they're gonna reappear at some point.
There you go. Hey, you got spot number 12. Go
ahead. Yeah, speaking of that, so I'm basically the Curtis Axel, right? Because he was still never eliminated from that Rumble.
Right.
All right. So he's technically still in the 2017 Royal Rumble right now.
Right.
So, okay. Right. Wanted to get that cleared up. Oh, wow. We got a lot to talk about. Goldberg wins.
Do we?
I think we do, Albert, because, hey, and I want to give us some props, too. I think this is the first time we've recorded a finale episode within a month of the final episode airing. So let's give ourselves a round of applause.
All right. Woo! I thought, to be honest, I thought about bailing tonight, but I didn't.
Why?
You were close.
You got the champagne coming.
Just really wanted to get my props for picking the winning team, so that's what I'm here for.
Hey, apparently you know something more than I do, because
I'm just here so I don't get
that. Yeah, there you go. So you don't get fined.
So let's run through your head, Goldberg. When we do the draft here,
yeah,
you see Derek and Claire.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you've already stated why you picked them.
Yeah,
but what is it with this team that you saw winning potential?
I got to be honest. It's not that I saw winning potential. I felt a connection because I watched the challenge, and that's literally the only reason I picked them, is because Derek was just on the most recent season of the challenge. So I knew him. I recognized him. He's young. His girlfriend's young, and the only reason I picked them. I mean, I know Calbert was high on them too, right? Like,
I was,
because I had the first pick. If you had the first pick, would you have taken them?
I probably would have taken them, yeah. And I wouldn't be as sour as.
Why would you have taken them? What drew you?
Oh, because of the Big Brother connection. That's why I would have taken them. So they have the experience of being on reality TV.
Let me put this out there now, because I might forget it later, but I think Emily and Molly, honestly, I don't know how many years ago they got reunited, but they had a hell of a run.
Oh yeah, especially with the bum leg too.
Yeah, and they worked really well together for two people who I mean, yeah, they might be sisters, but they really don't know each other per se. I mean, I don't know how many years ago, like I said, but
they had their opportunity to win too. That's the other thing. They made a couple crucial mistakes.
Well, kind of all three teams had a shot, which is what I liked about this finale.
Yes. It was not like last year or some other seasons where we see one team just they're done. You just know they're done. All three of these teams had a legit chance to win. It reminded me of season 30, to be honest, because that was the one, Calbert, where they were on the ship and they had to put together the plane.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they were all there. I mean, this is what this was like. So
I don't know necessarily, though. I mean, it wasn't like last season where it was a runaway. right? Because
last season was okay. You had the final two. You had your team and the Holderness family. They were neck and neck. That couldn't win either way. But obviously, Dusty and Ryan, they were out of it from the start. But yeah, go ahead.
And from just like from a potential of like how close is it going to be to the mat type of a feel, right? So yeah. I mean, it was, don't get me wrong, it was a good episode. It
was solid.
Yeah,
I like the nighttime ones. I think I like them better.
I agree. I agree with that.
Something. Well, yeah, you won twice with the nighttime ones, so yeah, of course you.
And Nashville's a good.
Like honestly, there's a chance I could be 3-3 had I repicked at that moment. Picked last season, I would have taken the team that I forget the Holderness team.
Yeah, I didn't get the Lulu and Lala. I felt off to me.
I felt loyal to them, and then I'm not surprised they canceled on the reality event this weekend because I would have given it to them.
Don't. Okay, I could have said something else there, but I'm not going to. Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Giving them a piece of my mind, okay?
Right. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Nice save.
But yeah, no. Anyways, I just honestly think that you have this knack of picking these teams that I absolutely they're like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Yeah. Well, Lulu and Lala.
Will and James were far worse. Don't get me wrong. I couldn't stand the Mind Five, that whole alliance thing they had. And they were like the masterminds of it. So they kind of need to come back. I feel like
maybe I think they will. I think they will because I think they have a large enough presence maybe on social media and stuff like that. Like I could totally see them coming back.
Yeah, they do because they need to be beaten.
And and one of them was on the challenge in the most recent season. So
well, he didn't win, right?
No.
Okay, good. Okay. Lisa. But anyways,
and so was Kayla.
Oh, Kayla was on there. Okay.
Was that? But that was
we're off the rails. We haven't even really talked about the episode yet. We're off the rails.
Wait. Real quick though, Goldberg. That party you were at in Orlando.
Yes.
You said Kayla, one of the cheerleaders from season 27, was there, correct? The New York Jets cheerleader.
I
know you didn't watch that season, but
I think I want to. Yeah, I didn't watch the season, but I saw her picture online, and I'm gonna say, I would have known if I saw her at that party because she's. I mean, let's call it what it is. She's pretty hot, so I would have known if she was there. Sure, she was at the meet and greet portion, but I didn't go to that. So no, I didn't see her at the party, or I would have. Not that I would have said anything, but no, I would have noticed her. And
Team Texas obviously thought she was hot too because they let them pass them. So, but anyway,
I read when I was looking them up. I read that, and I couldn't. Somebody actually let them pass them.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
They weren't very bright, okay. But why we this is big news because who else was at this party? Mr. Tarastorian, Logan, right? You got to
Logan.
Did you get to meet him?
I should have. I didn't. Look like a busy guy. Logan was hanging with Will and James, so didn't want to disturb. But that was early in the night, and I don't remember seeing him after that. But then again, I saw a lot of drinks after that, so.
Okay.
I know. I saw him at the beginning of the night, and that's when I had just got there. So I was just starting to. There was a very long line at the bar. So I saw him at the beginning. Don't remember seeing him again, but he was there, and maybe he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 99% sure that was him.
Well, as you know, he does listen to this pod. So
yeah,
Logan, if you can comment.
There's actually no guarantee he'll listen to this portion of the pod, though.
That's true. He may listen to only a snippet. But if you do hear this, Logan, can you please comment if you saw the man Goldberg down there? We'd love to hear you.
Well, he wouldn't know what I look like, but maybe he could confirm that was him at the party.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to this recap. This is going to be a little more loose episode because it is the finale. I'm not gonna go strict, challenge by challenge, but let's start off with starting off in Nashville, Tennessee. Beautiful city. I love Nashville. I've been there a couple times. Goldberg, have you ever been to Nashville?
That is one city I'm dying to go to, and I got to make a plan to go there. Love to go there.
I think you will enjoy it. I saw 2012 TNA Lockdown there.
Ooh,
believe it or not. So that was good. We spent the whole weekend there. Yeah. Oh yeah. The main event. Main event. Yeah, what was the main event? You know what? I think it was Bobby Roode versus James Storm when Bobby Roode was finding all those
managers
creative ways to keep the title. Like I think he got like super kicked out of the cage. So that's how he won the match. So, and then there was the 5-on-5 match, which is always good. But I remember Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair were there. I do remember that. So, but anyways, this isn't a wrestling pod. This is Amazing Race podcast. So, Nashville, Tennessee, Calbert, you've been there. Obviously, you've been to almost every city in the U.S.
Yeah, I've been there. I went there twice, and actually, when we flew in at night, and I went to it's kind of like more of like a jazzy bar at the time, and I then proceeded to spill my drink at that time. Really good food, really really nice people. It's a really really fun city, obviously. So I wasn't too terribly far from. What is it? It's O&P Stadium now for the Titans. I could see that from my hotel window. So
nice. It sticks out pretty yeah, quite a bit. They're actually talking about building a new stadium for the Titans.
Yeah, and it's fun. You'll have a good time. Over.
They're kind of talking about going the Minnesota Vikings, Arizona Cardinals route with their stadium. I don't think they should, but it'll be fancy, that's for sure.
Right.
Right. But yeah, Nashville's a fun city. So if you guys ever have not visited there, I recommend it. I'm not a huge country fan, but the bars looked fun. We didn't really get to hang out at a ton of the bars, but they do have some other bars too. It's not all just country, but I would say the majority of them are. But still a lot of fun.
Wait, quick question, Calbert. You've been to almost every city. You've been to that many?
That's not actually true. I've been to a lot of them. Yeah,
I did say almost.
Yeah, I've been to 46 out of the 50 states. So I've gone through a lot of the cities. Yep. So
I think that's a pretty good estimate.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the 90 percentile.
Yeah, the only 4 I'm missing is Washington, Oregon, Hawaii, and Alaska. So that's it.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Makes me rethink my whole life. What am I doing out here?
I don't think so. You're doing pretty good at this. You're doing pretty good at this pick'em thing. So.
Yeah.
You guys want to know who wins next season, or should I?
No. Hey, yep.
Yeah, please. I'll write it down. Go ahead.
He threw us a bone last season, but yeah. All right, so the episode starts off at the Jack Daniel's distillery. One team member had to properly label and tag 30 bottles of Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey before placing them on a conveyor belt. The bottles were approved. The other team member had to pack them into boxes in order to receive their next clue, which instructed teams to drive to the Korean War Veterans Memorial Bridge and find their next clue. What do you guys think about this first task? I thought it was pretty basic, but it did seem like your team, Calbert, had some issues with it.
Apparently there was like an issue with the labeling. Like, I guess it wasn't labeled. The top part wasn't labeled properly enough, I guess. Although when I was watching it, it kind of just reminded me of the I Love Lucy scene where she eventually has to, it's Chuck. That's what it reminded me of. But yeah, I like, and luckily, like, she was being told that, like, you're getting a bunch of them sent back, so you're doing something wrong. So, but that wasn't listed at that point. So.
No, you were still in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my My dog is very vocal about this race, but yeah, you were still in at that point. There wasn't like a bunch of key mistakes or anything. It's just, it put you behind a little bit. From that point, it seemed like everybody had to stop at that same gas station and ask for directions. Could you imagine like how nerve-wracking that would be in the final leg? And it's like you have really no clue where you're going because it seemed like they didn't have maps or anything. It was all by asking someone where to go.
Yeah.
Unless you're like from that area and you know it really well. I mean, I don't know. I think that would just be super nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and that's especially for a city that you don't know too, and especially because at the time when they had started, it wasn't quite pitch dark out yet. It was getting close,
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that's a thing. That's where knowing if you happen to know the city, I don't even know if you would know the city if that would helped, right? Unless you're, to your point, unless you're from there,
right? Well, I think if it was, let's say, if it was Milwaukee and they told you to drive to the home bridge from wherever you were done with, I could get there. I probably could get there. But like for Goldberg, for you, drive to I-4 and get off on, Magic Way or whatever, So
right.
Just did that last weekend, actually.
So and Calvert, I don't even know. I've never been to Arizona, so I can't help you there. But I'm sure there's something you could pinpoint that would be similar to that. So
yep.
So this roadblock here, where they drive to the Cumberland River, they had to drive, or they had to climb the Veterans Memorial Bridge. It was a roadblock, and it seemed like whoever had to do the challenge, they had to do it. I don't think they could pick, because I think some teams ran out of because a lot of seasons they have to do 6 roadblocks each. So It seemed like with your team, Goldberg, like Derek only did 5. So he had to do it, which actually worked out pretty well. And then for your team, Calvert,
Michelle had to do it. Michelle had to do it. Yep.
Yeah, she had to do it, which probably was. I mean, if Luis would have done that, I think there would have been a better result.
Let's put this out there now. Luis carried that team all season long.
Yes.
But Michelle.
Yes.
Okay. Like, to me, Luis might be like if there was a power rankings of the entire overall show, I would put Luis number 1.
I think so. I think so.
He had a great personality. Like he was singing the whole time. I mean, he was very
positive.
He was feeling himself.
Yeah. It was very positive.
Yeah. Yep. And he did well. Like, he did really well.
I gotta say, like, with if Luis does that, we could be looking at a different champion. But
I agree.
It could be. He would have gotten that task done a lot quicker. I do know that.
But I'm going to hold on to why I think that why I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah, because of the last portion.
Well, the final, right? They struggle with it. So it may have caught up to him anyway.
But we also mocked Derek the whole season because it did feel like Claire did more like certain certain challenges, whatever you call them, that felt like there was the majority of them guys were doing. There were a couple of them, and Claire did them. Remember the one where they had to put together the motorcycle?
Yep.
Yes.
There was like a bunch, like all the guys were doing it, but Claire did that one. So like, I guess it kind of worked out for them at the end, but.
I think that was kind of by design. They put Claire. Claire, noticed in the early legs, she did most of the roadblocks. So that way Derek had to do all the, I mean, would you say Derek was the stronger of the team, or do you think Claire was?
I think Derek, but not by much.
Okay.
I would agree. I think it's Derek, but just because of the vast knowledge that he knows, like I think if Derek's not on that team, the final part of the last episode, they don't win because Derek's played the piano before, so he knows what to do.
That was kind of interesting, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
not saying that was the end all be all, but he definitely had an advantage for that.
Right.
There's a couple of piano tasks in this season too, so
right.
It's interesting. I'm not saying they do that. They do that on purpose to play to people's strengths. But obviously they were the team with the most notoriety coming in. Well, besides Rex Ryan, besides Rex Ryan, but
forgot Rex was even on this season.
But it's not Rex. Rex wasn't winning most likely.
But at this point, this is where I thought that we were starting to put the nail in the coffin for Luis and Michelle, which was my team. And it's not even because, like, let's just go back for just half a second. She struggled to climb up the bridge. Like, it wasn't like it took her a little bit to figure out, oh, I don't have to because she was struggling going halfway up and she was running out of gas. But I think what the nail in the coffin was that she waited, and she said, "Damn it, I shouldn't have waited." Basically,
yeah. She lost some key time right there,
right?
And then Emily and Molly making the wrong turns a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that obviously cost them. But Emily did pretty solid at that climbing challenge. I mean, she mentioned that she's done this before, so
right.
So, all right. So from there. From the Veterans Memorial Bridge, the Korean War Veterans Memorial Bridge, they had to get a guitar pick, and then they went to Gibson Garage, where season 24 racers Caroline and Jennifer, that was right before I started watching, because I started season 25, so I didn't know who they were, instructed them to deliver one Gibson guitar to each of 3 different honky-tonks on Broadway in order to receive tickets to the Nashville Municipal Auditorium. So now this is where Emily and Molly really struggled. And this is where Luis and Michelle, your team, passes them. Did you enjoy this challenge? I thought this was okay, but I guess this is where physical, this is where it came in. This is maybe what did Emily and Molly. They didn't screw up or anything, but clearly Derek and Claire were going to, gain some ground on them. Same with Luis and Michelle, which they did. So this is where it kind of hurt for them. Like I told you the week before, Calvert, Emily and Molly had to get a big lead if they were going to win this. They had to. They could not make any mistakes. They made too many mistakes. And then when they were behind and they got to this challenge, it really basically sealed their fate, I think.
Yep.
Well, right. Because just go back for just 2 seconds, the difference between going westbound and going eastbound on that road.
Yep.
That was the deciding factor, which, by the way, I mean, I don't know the difference. I don't know jack crap about guitars. So I really couldn't tell the difference between all of them as they were sitting there. Like a guitar is a guitar to me, pretty much. I mean,
do you know the difference between an acoustic and an electric, though?
I do know. I was just about to say, I do know the difference between an acoustic and an electric.
Okay, because Luis did not. So, but there was only 3 guitars there, so he kind of was forced to just take those 3.
Right.
So. Yeah.
To me, Caroline they were just kind of playing music. I don't really know if they gave them any kind of hints or this is the one.
I thought they gave them. Yeah, no, there was nothing of the sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just said 2 acoustics and 1 electric, I believe.
Right. And so, and Luis and Michelle kind of spent some time kind of chatting with them, which, okay, I get that. Theoretically, Emily and Molly are, somewhere on the opposite side of Nashville at this point, so I guess you got a couple minutes, but this would be the time this is when I started to get really, really worried, because I'm like, okay, cool. You chatted with them for a couple minutes. Go get the guitars now. So
that's exactly right.
I thought this part of the challenge was fine. It
was cool to walk on Broadway, and it also involved actual physicality and stamina, which I think sometimes on The Amazing Race they don't do as much as they used to. They did in the last 2 legs of this. The Iceland leg was totally about that, and so is this. But it seems like they kind of got away from that a little bit. But there was definitely enough of it in this leg. So once that they delivered those guitars, they had to go to the Nashville Municipal Auditorium where teams had to press keys on a floor piano, which revealed images until they found the 11 notes that displayed images they'd seen during previous legs of the race, and then play them in chronological order within 11 seconds. If teams played the notes in the correct order, they received their final clue, which directed them to the finish line, the Mother Church of Country Music, which they had to figure out was the Ryman Auditorium. So,
do you guys think if Emily and Molly didn't fuck up directions the entire episode, they would have had a shot to win?
Yes.
I do.
Think,
yeah.
I think they were pretty close. I honestly,
because I think they actually would have won had they not fucked up directions.
They were smart, and like that was their strength. They're smarts.
So smart. Yeah.
They were good enough physically to hang in there, but they were ridiculously.
I was saying Luis would be my number one like MVP of the show, but if we're talking about a rankings of smarts or like IQ, I think Emily and Molly are 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't think I can disagree with you there.
Like they were both really smart in different facets.
I would still like to have seen my team complete or at least see where they would have finished before I would. Will and Abby and Will.
Oh,
which
right.
would
I
don't think they were super smart. I don't think they were dumb.
They were middle of the pack. They would have finished 5th, 6th, something like that.
I think they would have beat David and Aubrey. I really do.
David and Aubrey, somehow they snuck their way into the top 4. I mean, I think the last time I was on the show, I might have said something of the sorts, but maybe not. I don't know.
I think they at least finished 4th. And maybe even snuck into the top.
I'm not sure about that.
I also think, like Curls, I think I texted you that I think, what were the guys that finished 5th?
Yeah, Marcus and Michael.
I think they might have been the overall best team.
They were really good until they weren't. But that happens with these strong alpha male teams, right? We see it. I compared them to Dusty and Ryan because once they got that like loss, they could never really rebound.
Right. Dusty and Ryan, another team that canceled at the event I went to.
Dusty and Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh, they were from last season too. Okay.
Yeah, they canceled.
Jeez. Well, I really do think though that my team would have. I mean, it would have been interesting. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I think it would have been interesting to see where they would have finished. So, having said that, though, let's talk about this final puzzle challenge. Did you guys think this one was a tough one? Do you think it was an easy, or do you? I don't think it was easy, but do you think it was like either a medium difficulty challenge or a really hard one?
It's hard. I thought it was hard.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Goldberg. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I didn't say a word. That was Hurls.
Yeah, so I thought this was hard. So I thought this was hard for 2 reasons. One, because of the clock, right? You had 11 seconds to kind of figure it out. And 2, if you thought it was just about the white keys, well, you forgot about the black keys that were on top of it, right? So, because that's what did it in Luis and Michelle, like officially.
Yeah, they didn't have no clue that they
were done.
They had to touch those.
I did, by the way. I did kind of like the fact that they had like the orchestra there, and you basically played the Amazing Race theme song, which we didn't go later, but like I thought that was kind of cool. So
yes, and I like that they had the symphony there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was really cool. Yeah, I think this challenge was pretty. I thought it was pretty interesting because not only did you have to remember, the sites you visited, but you have to remember the keys that they were on too. So no, I do think it was a tough challenge. And the fact that you had to get them in 10 seconds. Emily and Molly, though, I agree with you, Goldberg. If they run a flawless race, I think they may have won this thing.
Because they figured out that last portion. Derek had the advantage because he plays piano.
Yes.
Which it's almost like they designed the final challenge for him. But they they figured it out pretty quickly, like way quicker than Luis and Michelle. So I do think had they not fucked up directions and they got there before Derek and Claire, I think they could
Yeah.
have. It really, or it would have been really close. It would have been really close.
Even if they got there around the time Luis and Michelle, who knows what would have happened? Because if you remember, they were the final team to get there.
Right.
Luis,
Right.
wait. Oh, yeah. When they passed
Emily and Molly were the last team to get there.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true.
So I mean that could have went like really anywhere. I mean I don't know. I think it would have been interesting, but that's why there's a full episode and not just the final challenge. So I mean it's all part of it. Right. You want to get off to a good start, and that's why I said they had to run a flawless leg to win that, and they just made too many mistakes.
Did you like the clock?
Yeah, I did. Well, yeah, I did. Or also, I think Derek and Claire probably run away with that a lot easier.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I liked it too.
Well, Derek knows the keys. He memorized the keys.
Yep.
Mean, I took a class in high school. It was actually pretty easy. It's called Hello on Music, and we had to learn the keyboard. And actually, I could actually look at songs and actually start playing them. Not like real sophisticated ones, but you learn every good boy does fine.
Right.
You learn that structure,
Right.
So it's not too hard with the piano. Honestly.
I think that was the only flaw for Derek was it was just the order. It wasn't the keys. It was the order in which the puzzle went. Right.
Correct.
That was the only flaw. But like it was, to your point, it was close. Like I think if Emily and Molly wouldn't have screwed up with the directions, they might have beaten them, but it would have been.
It was a 1-2, right? Like no offense. Like I mean,
props
for
right.
picking a team that made the final, but Luis and Michelle never had a shot in this. No. They never, especially with the piano thing. Like that was like, it.
Look at how long it took Michelle to figure out that she had to open up the guitar case to get the pick.
Yeah.
Well, Goldberg, we said it, or Calbert. Yeah, Goldberg. Last week, me and Calbert, I said that's going to come down to smarts with them. Because I don't know. The other two teams they were going against were really smart. So, yeah. And I think that's really what it did. What happened.
Yeah. So, Derek and Claire were smart. They really were.
Yeah, they were. They were definitely smart. I think thought they went to some prestigious college, but I could be wrong on that.
It's funny because Derek, he was the one on the challenge recently. And I mean, what a dud. Just no personality. I mean, just got eliminated early. Nothing, but I mean, just the fact that I knew who he was the only reason. It was either him or Rex Ryan. I mean, let's come on, picking him over Rex.
So Derek and Claire, they get there, they get done with the task, they get there and they win the Amazing Race 34. But Calvert, you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, I'm not mad that Derek and Claire won. Like there wasn't a team like that I really didn't dislike. Like we talked about Goldberg. We talked about in the last episode before the finale. We talked about it. If Emily and Molly were to win, Hurls had this question about where do we rank them as far as like, is this an upset? Are they like to the scientist point? Because at that point for that season, the scientists were really, really smart, but they had to do a bunch of different things and they ended up winning the entire thing. So it was kind of an upset in that way. So I said no because Emily and Molly were good and they'd won some legs and they got directionally challenged at the worst time. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I'm fine with Derek and Claire winning. I had no problem. I thought it was kind of funny. Derek made that kind of joke about like, well, since we're here, I have a little bit of an announcement. He, was going to pretend to propose, which was kind of funny. So, but no, I'm fine with them winning. It's no big deal. So I'm done.
All right, Goldberg, you any more you want to talk about your team with your second championship here?
I mean, I got to give it up to myself. I want to thank my dad. He was always there for me. Nah, But I
Wait,
mean,
wait, go ahead.
I honestly got lucky both really with Will and James too. I just got completely lucky. But yeah, I still think overall Derek and Claire, I'm not entirely convinced they were the best team, but I guess if you're the best team on the last leg of the race, then it's all it takes. So
Yep, that's
um
right.
yeah,
What's
what, Calvert?
saying, right? It's not how you start; it's how you finish.
There you
Right?
go. There you
So
go. So I mean, I'm glad. I listen. If you could go back now, I guess I'll ask you guys this question. And every team that was in this race from day one, who would you have wanted to? Not that you picked, or not that you thought was the best team. Is there any team that you would have wanted to win the race? Like just based on you really like them like after watching the entire show, getting to know the teams.
Hmm. Possibly Emily and Molly. But you know what? I think Glenda and Lumumba.
Why?
So they could have $1 million for Boom Boom.
Oh man, what about you, Calvert?
it's probably it's not probably, it is. It's Marcus and Michael, which I spent a good 20 minutes just destroying them. But it's Marcus and Michael. Like, they're a good team. They just directions and picking the worst challenge to do at the worst possible time is kind of what did them in. So, but yeah, I liked Marcus and Michael. If I didn't pick Luis and Michelle, I'd been fine with them winning too at the beginning too. So, but yeah, I mean, Derek and Claire were good too. So, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously, the team that you pick, you generally are going to want them to win, obviously.
Sure.
But there's a reason you pick them, because you may like their personality or something of that sort. But I don't know. Like, what is it? I mean, I think Emily and Molly had a story that was
I would have
really relatable.
Going to be my answer. I would have gone with Emily and Molly. They grew on me the whole season, and not just because of their story alone was pretty good. Like the fact long lost sisters, like that was good enough, and they performed so well for two girls who were let's call it what it was. They were out of shape, dude. Like they had no business. Like, and one of them had an issue.
One
And
of them's got a bad wheel.
yeah, like they limped their way into a final, and they managed to somehow finish second. Like they deserve to probably be back on the show at some point. Like they did a really good job.
Overall, how are you ranking this final episode?
And you know me, I usually just go with the hot girl team, but they impressed me.
They were very good.
I'd probably give it an 8, which is pretty good. I mean, they picked a really good city to do it in Nashville. They did really cool challenges.
Yeah.
So I thought they did. I'd give it an 8. 8 suspenseful too. Like, that's the thing. Like, there were times when or at least when I was watching the episode, that I thought, like, all 3 of them had a lead. At very, very certain parts, right? So when they left the Emily and Molly were winning. When they left the guitar shop, Derek and Claire were winning. Luis and Michelle really didn't lead, which that's part of the problem. So that's the reverse of what Emily and Molly needed. If Luis and Michelle were going to win, they needed to be a couple steps ahead, right? Which that never happened. So, but like, that's like, they didn't have the killer instinct either. So I'm shooting it on my team that I picked to win.
Yeah.
When you're at the finale, you got to go for the jugular. You got to finish them off. So and they didn't do that. They were like, oh, okay, it's no big, like, especially at the show. Oh, no big deal. Like, we're having fun. No, having fun was the episodes beforehand.
Yes, I agree. So, I think once you get to the States, it's all about just laser focus. You can visit those locations anytime. It's all about just the game at that point. Uh, 8 out of 10. That's solid. I think it was a really good finale. I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10. I mean, it could have been Will and James's season. That finale was terrible. You know,
Yep.
I thought
Yep.
it was. This
Too
was
easy.
Yeah,
Too
it was
easy.
too easy. I mean, this was good. When I like to see teams kind of, I don't want to see blowouts.
Right.
You know, I know they're going to happen, but I don't want to see blowouts. Goldberg, what was your final score for this last episode?
I would say I would agree with Calvert, like an 8 out of 10. Like I love the fact that like it wasn't. You're right. Like it wasn't a giveaway at any point until the end. Really, when you realize Derek knew how to play piano, so it was kind of over at that point. But the whole entire finale, they had me thinking. I thought Emily and Molly really had a shot. Then I thought Luis and Michelle had a shot. And I
Yeah,
realized
because
Derek,
that was that's the thing. Like, especially once which to Goldberg's point, Luis figured out that it was the Black Keys, that like it
Yep.
wasn't
But it
just
took
it
him too
wasn't
long.
just-
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, and that's all it takes. It's kind of like what Pearls and I kind of talk about when we do this show. Overall, it's the attention to detail, the minor things, the making a left hand turn when you make a right hand turn type deal that can cost you the shot at the $1 million. Now, not necessarily cost Luis and Michelle in this particular case, but like, you know, not being able to remember the order and or not playing musical instruments. When they said that, I was like, it's Seven Nation Army all over again for me.
Yes,
basically.
That was the season.
That's basically what it was. Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, great. They don't really know how to play musical instruments, and one of them is a dancer. So I would have thought, because they tend to go hand in hand, not always, but I was like, I'm done. I'm screwed. Let's just hope I can finish. I didn't even get that. And it was, and by the way, it was a distant third.
Yes.
A distant third. It wasn't like, oh, it's you know, it's a race to the mat for second. Emily and Molly are there, and you know, in the background, just a little bit, Luis and Michelle are there. No, it was a distant third. Like, you could set your watch to it. It was probably 20 minutes. You know, so.
So and Calvert, you with your team taking third, was this the first time you took third?
This is the first time. Yes, this is the first time I took third. Yeah.
But you know what? I always say, like, you guys ever watch Family Feud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Tell me Family Feud is not done backwards. The hardest question, the hardest answer, sorry, should give you the most points. Not the easiest one. We know number one is easy, right? Like it's easy to pick number one. Picking number 3 is tough, man. 3 is tough. You should get a little more props for that.
or 8, right? The top 8 answers are on the board. Picking that 8th one.
That's what I'm
hard.
saying. I mean, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
If the top 8 answers are on the board, number 8 should give you the most points, not number 1, right? Like, it might be off topic, but come on, like.
No, right.
It's
right.
So, like, you know, the fact that you picked the top 3 team, it's still respectable. I mean, Hurls, you got some work to do next season, but.
What do you mean, man? My team's still standing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Your team's still hiding under the ring.
That's right. Well, that's kind of what I'm going to bring up too. Like, okay, so overall, did you guys like this season? Because I got thoughts.
I like it.
Yeah, Calvert, you start off with this.
I liked parts of it. You know, we spent a lot of time talking about the Iceland episode. If I remember correctly, which I should really listen to this podcast more. I believe that it was our highest rated ranking show that we had for what Hurls and I thought of it out of 10. You know, I liked the fact that they went to Jordan. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, first time ever for that.
Yeah, I liked that it was kind of, there were some more mental challenges, so I like that part. You know, so yeah, I like this season. Was it, you know? So the follow-up question is, was it better than last season? Sure. I'd say it's probably better than last season. I mean, it's not, you know, the greatest season ever, but it's a good season. You know, it kept our interest, which that's important. And look at you, Earl. I mean, so right? You didn't have horses, and you were
Right.
like, I don't know how this is gonna go. So
Right. Yeah, no, there was this one I thought was very jumbled. Like I had no idea who's going to win because there wasn't like a dominating team like sometimes you'll see. Goldberg, what did you think of this season?
Yeah, I enjoyed the season overall. I mean, since we've been doing this podcast for what, 3 seasons now, like since I hopped on.
Yep.
I would say I enjoyed the first season more. I think this would be 2, and the last one would be like 3rd. But yeah, it was an okay season. I don't think it was like anything spectacular, but
Do you guys okay, I'll just say my piece and then we can kind of do some questions. I think there was something missing this season. It was I liked the whole...
we're missing Leo.
Yeah, Leo. Oh, jeez. I think that we were missing. I didn't mind the whole there was an elimination every week. That wasn't bad, but I do kind of miss some of the gadgets, like the U-turn, the speed bumps. You know, I kind of miss some of that stuff. So, and the airport drama, there is no more.
Yeah,
that's like totally eliminated.
Yep. I'm begging for please get rid of the 15 minutes between each team. If we can at least do that, accomplishment.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be airport drama next season. I agree.
I don't. Well, me and Calbert, we talked about in one of the episodes that Calbert, you're saying this is not going. The plane's not going away for a while, right?
No, I don't believe the plane's going away.
Okay, here's the other thing.
Because of COVID, or
right? That's why he's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, but here's the thing. Like, I really like to know Abby and Will's situation. I probably should listen to some of their exit interviews because I want to know, like, did they bring up the fact that they had COVID? Or are they getting tested every day? Because this was, let's not forget that this was filmed not too long after. Well,
I don't know. You think they're getting tested every day?
I don't know.
I don't think every day.
Do you think she's like, oh, I'm not feeling good. I probably should, say something to Phil or him? Probably. I don't know which one it was, but what do you think on this?
Yeah, I think
how are they going to go forward with this?
When did they film this? When did they film this?
May 24th.
Calbert, I remember you answered this.
May 24th through June 16th, I believe. I'm not staring exactly at my.
So we were past COVID at this point.
Yeah, way past
for the most
it.
part.
Yeah.
So
right.
So I think that one of them had to have gotten sick. Had to.
They just said,
production noticed, or they fessed up something, but had to have been sick. And it's bizarre that they're the only team that got sick because every team is obviously they sleep together. I'm sure they sleep together. So or at least in the same area. So it's bizarre, but I think one of them had to have been sick and production noticed, or one of them fessed up. Right.
Yeah,
that has to be the only.
Okay. See, now I feel better with that. I would feel better with that because I think at this point we're kind of past the whole,
Oh no, but look at how. The only reason why I think the plane doesn't go away is because it's fucking expensive, right? So, and it took them 30 plus seasons to get a private plane.
Yeah,
that's goes. I mean, so sure, could there be some kind of airport drama? I guess, but like that's the point of having the plane is to get rid of the airport drama.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But that's not good TV though. You basically just eliminated, all the drama stuff that you do have at airports. But I get what you're saying. Like they have this plane, they're gonna use it. Obviously, I mean, I'm sure they paid a good penny for it, and they're gonna get their use out of it. I totally understand that. I'm just trying to figure out ways to kind of, I don't know, bring back some of the. I'm trying to think of the word, but I mean, just more of some of the other drama that they have. Because you notice they're still not taking like public trains or, any of that either. It's all like self-drivings.
Yep.
They did do the boat. in the first episode. But other than that,
Yep.
they haven't really been doing well. I should say, okay, they did the train to Jordan, but that was, remember, they were up on the top of the caboose, so they weren't inside.
Right.
So, another thing I want to mention, we were mostly in Europe. I really hope that they can venture off into at least South America. Like, how do we not have South America yet? Right? I get Asia. I do get Asia, but South America, that's strange. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're right. That's true. I mean, because that's the thing. Like, I mean, what? There's a bunch that they could still go to, right? So, I mean,
we used to hit every continent at least once, though, every season.
Right.
We only hit Jordan. I mean, that was it, and then everything else was in Europe. So, I mean, I think we're missing the South. We're missing the Asia, even though Jordan, I believe, is in Asia. But we're missing South America. We're missing like Japan, Vietnam.
Sure.
But I get why there's, they're treating it a little more strict over there. But we'll see what happens. Maybe next season they'll go to South America. I could see that one at least. South America, maybe another Middle Eastern country, and then Europe again, obviously.
Right.
So I could see that. All right. One last question. Do we want to see like the gimmicks come back? Because there was really no gimmicks this season. Do we want the U-turn? Do we want the speed bump? Do we want the yield?
Yeah, I would like to see that.
That's the show. That's the show in a nutshell.
I agree. Yep. I want to see that too again.
And Calbert, when you say you want to get rid of the 15 minutes, do you mean do you want it to go back to the way it started? Like where you finish is where you start, you get 12 hours from the time you finish?
Correct.
Okay, so that would be interesting.
Because look at what happens, right? There is no advantage for you. Okay, let me backtrack what I was just about to say. I was about to say there is no real advantage for you finishing first. That's not technically true because you might get money or
right. You get the prize, right? But you don't get the advantage over the.
There's no advantage for you finishing first.
Yep.
So outside of this last episode, so what is the point, right? Because the point at this point, pun intended, is just to finish.
Yep.
With the about the everybody gets eliminated. There's no non-eliminations except for the mega leg portions. So that's. So if we're going to do this, if we're going to do like what you were suggesting with the U-turns and speed bumps and all that, and harsher penalties if it's me, right, for not completing a task, then let's do this, right?
Right. If I'm sixth place, I know I'm going to start the same as the fourth place. Well, who cares, right?
Right.
Who really cares? I'm getting the same spot as fourth.
Right.
So
plus it's season 35, right? And so we know the Amazing Race likes numbers like that.
Yes,
right?
It's almost a mile. Yeah, it's kind of like a mile.
Right.
Yep.
So, okay, if you can tell me that, or not, if you can tell me, you keep the private plane because you got to, and it kind of goes back to, I'm using air quotes that you guys can't see, normal, right? Normal Amazing Race.
Mm-hmm.
More episodes, because that's really what it comes down to. Because, usually in a season, in a normal season, there are 18 to 22, not 12.
Yes.
14, 16, right?
Also,
but
well, you're exactly right. But also, I want to say casting. That's the last thing I want to bring up. They got to start bringing more like everyday Americans. Like, I feel like they're getting too Abercrombie and Fitch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Am I like?
Sure.
They're getting.
You get where I'm coming from there?
Yeah. No,
I do. Yeah.
That's fair.
Like, if you look at those early Amazing Race seasons, you had some strange people, but they were like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, like they were some
They're
gimmicks,
good.
like
They're
characters.
sort of, and I mean, I've only been on for 3 seasons at this point, but it seems very like mainstreamish, and like
Yeah,
you,
it's
you
getting
got
way,
all you
yeah,
got all good looking people, like
right,
let's get some regular fucking average Joes on here.
right. I mean, okay, Rex, he's the only one that wasn't, but the guy's still, you know, a head coach in the NFL. Like everybody knows him.
I mean,
I
I'm
want the
okay
air
with
traffic
one
controllers
team.
back. I want the bowling
Yeah.
moms back. Like, give me teams like that. Give me
Yeah.
some redneck from
We need
you know
we need some
deep in the
story.
heart of Georgia.
Yeah,
You know,
we need some storylines next season. There needs to
yeah.
be some
Stop taking
heels
all
I-
with some
California people.
faces. Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
there's too many Californians. I'm sorry, they get all the casting. It's like there's so many other states in the U.S. Not everybody's like that.
I
And
was thinking of the dating season, right? When you pretty
oh
much
yeah,
you didn't
yes.
know your partner. I think if I remember right, I think finished 5th or 4th because the season before the stupid tire did me in. I'll never forget that season.
Well, you're probably confusing two seasons. So 26 was 6 couples that knew each other and 6 couples that didn't. Remember, they did that blind date one,
Right.
And then 28, I believe, or 29 was the one where they did a draft. Remember that one?
Yep.
So they're similar but different.
Right.
So,
But right, like especially for that one, like you're in the mud, right? The very first part of like you're in the mud in the dating season. So you literally don't know if you get a you're dating this person for you're meeting this person for the first time today.
Yeah.
So you don't know what they can do, right?
Right.
I'm with give me the trucker from Oklahoma that's got 4 teeth that they have to use captions the captions so I can understand what he's saying.
Right. Yes. Like not everybody has to be pretty, you know.
Right.
Like season
That's
25,
hilarious.
they had a lot of season 25 had a lot of pretty people, obviously, but they all had really strong gimmicks.
Yeah.
Like you had obviously Robbie E. and Brooke Tessmacher. You had the dentist. You had the surfers. You had the candy scientists. You had the firefighters. Like there was a good mix of casting. So they gotta start upping their game with the casting. I feel like not just get everybody who looks good, and I want to see some. I'll see some stronger casting.
Right.
So that's all I gotta say. Goldberg, I know you got questions because this is your segment. Let's hear it.
Okay. I love to like do like retro in hindsight type of rankings or type of like power ranking types. So here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could go back, and how many teams are there?
Well, there was 12 this year. There's generally 11.
Okay, so let's say the 12 teams from the beginning. From beginning of the race hasn't started yet, whatever. If you could team up 2 people, but it would have to be a guy and a girl, and you think they would be unstoppable in the race, which guy and which girl would you team up?
Oh. Good question.
So
Sweet.
the best
came up with that about 7 seconds ago.
Yeah, you did quite good. Quite good.
Did it on the fly.
Wow. I think I'm gonna go.
I mean, I got my answer. If you want me to hit it first, but
go ahead.
Yeah,
you asked it. Go ahead. You asked it.
I'm going. I mean, I think Luis was the best male on this season, and I think if Luis was teamed up with either Molly and Emily, one of them, I can't tell them apart, and I don't mean that in a racist kind of way, but
right.
cannot tell them apart. But if Luis was teamed up with one of them, I think that's game over, because they were so smart. and he was so competitive that I think that would have been it. But maybe Marcus and Michael, one of you could pick, but or Derek.
No, I think I'm putting Luis ahead of Derek. I honestly think I'm gonna do Luis, and then I'm gonna do it probably Molly, because she was the one that I don't think had the bum leg. I think Emily did. I could be wrong with that, but yeah, probably Luis and Molly, because you get the smarts and the strength. So I think that's what I would have went with. But I also would look at I think was it Quentin?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think if he was with like Quentin and Molly could have been good too. So like I think they I don't think he would have had his navigation issues at that point. So, but I'll stick with Luis and Molly. Calvert.
I actually was going to go with I was going to go with Quentin and Molly. No joke. When I'm staring at from this past season. Quentin's energy is being a cheerleader. I mean, he's got it for days.
Yeah. He would have done good at that final leg too.
Yeah, he would have.
Like it's a routine. So I think he's athletic. I think he would have done really good. I think the problem with him was navigation.
Right.
But if he's with Molly, I think they may have, upped it.
Right.
So that's a good question.
We kind of picked from the same female portion, but the male portion was different. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. And
I got one more after you guys are done discussing this one.
I just want to say though, like, I feel like Abby and Will really didn't get any airtime because they already knew, well, this team's going to be eliminated because of COVID.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like,
agree with that.
I don't know if we really got to see a lot of them besides like a real small, like, okay, yeah, I'm still picking Luis, but maybe there's stuff we may have, missed out on that, maybe have put like Will in the top 3 or Abby in the top 3.
Look at Aubrey and David, right? How many weeks did we bury them? Right? We said kind of the same thing each week in some variation for the two of them that were like, why are they here? What do they do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so we found out that
water was their weakness.
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah, David in particular. Right.
Yeah.
So, but like that, right? So had they not gone to this, I mean, I guess, so I'm joining your side, sort of, in that just because you don't get a lot of airtime doesn't mean you're not a good team. Right. So, I mean, Aubrey and David, if it's not for the water challenge, Aubrey and David are right there. Right.
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't think Maddie was bad either. Like, Maddie's kind of someone that you could say you could put her maybe with Luis, and that could have been a strong team.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
yep.
Let me hit you with one more before we move on.
Before we get out of here. Okay.
I've done 3 seasons with you guys.
Yes.
I'm 2 for 3. You guys are losers. But
True.
What? Like, let's power rank.
Wait a sec. I never lost.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Sometimes you got to come to terms with reality. Out of the last 3 seasons, let's rank the last 3 champs. Who do you think out of the last 3 seasons that we've been doing this show together, who deserves to be like on another season? Who is the best team of the last 3 winners? Or throw a team in there that deserved to win and didn't win. Like, what's your top 3 that deserve another shot at another season? And we can include like personality, stuff like that, like we were talking about. Let's go the last 3 seasons combined. What 3 teams would you throw and want to see them again?
Well, this is an odd question. It's almost a layup. I'm gonna do all the teams that just never were officially eliminated. So Abby and Will. I'm gonna pick
that's
Spencer.
spoken like a true loser.
No. Well, they never lost. That's why they need to go back. Spencer.
But they weren't that interesting, Hurls. Abby and Will were not that interesting.
Yes, but okay, competition though. They deserve one more shot. So does Calvert, the team you picked last season.
Yeah.
The couple.
Yep.
The football coach and his wife. They
Yep.
need another shot. The guy, the Army guys that
All right,
stopped
let's
the terrorist
put
attack.
that aside. Let's go
All
with
right.
go with the most interesting teams or the best teams. Like, let's put the COVID shit aside.
I think I mean I liked Michael and Mo from last season.
Yeah.
So like, and they didn't. No,
So you're just putting them there so they can get eliminated the first episode.
Yep. Pretty
Okay.
much. But
Okay.
if we remember correctly, they got eliminated again, so they got eliminated twice. But they did only, right? So fourth, right? So, I mean, who knows what they could have done, right?
No, they were sixth.
Sixth.
Seventh. They were 11th and 7th.
Right.
Because they got brought back and they still took last. So
right.
They took last every single time they were out there. But
right.
Okay, so Goldberg, you're saying most entertaining.
Like
Three
entertaining
teams.
Or good, and good. Like
not deserving.
Good,
teams that don't deserve
good,
it.
If you're good, you deserve to be on the show again. Like, to me, like if you perform well, you deserve to be on the show again. But if you're also like a good character, I also think you deserve to be on the show again.
I think Tim and Rex, for sure. They're good characters. They were very good characters. I think I would like to see them have one more shot. Gosh.
It's a tough question, I know, but
I mean the Holderness family for sure.
I think the Holderness family may be the top team of the last 3 seasons, actually.
Yes, I agree with you.
I'd agree with that.
They performed tremendously.
I'd like to see Will and James without the protection they had. But
I don't disagree with that either. And I also think that our boy Leo may deserve another, like he made a mark.
Yes, that's fine. Leo and Alana, I can get that. I can get down with that.
To me, Derek and Claire, there's nothing that would make me want to see them on the show again.
No, they're not. Like, they were trying to push a mid-carder in wrestling terms. And
exactly.
It wasn't working. It wasn't
we're
working.
Not interested in Jungle Boy. It's just not going to happen.
Right. It's not going to happen. So let's move on. Like, why are we trying to force this team? He's cringy. He's not funny. He's like, there's nothing about his personality where I'm like, oh, I got to see them again.
Yeah. Let's separate Sting from Darby Allin and move on.
Yes. Thank you. Right. Thank you. But, man.
I mean, Ron and Natalie, right? You Stole My Boat, right?
They were good. I guess they were good TV, but man, they're train wrecks.
Oh, absolutely. But
you got to be at least somewhat good to be on, to make it.
But you don't rubberneck, right? When you see an accident, you don't rubberneck.
Well, I mean, yes, but I mean, okay. Is there any skill involved in this question, Goldberg? Or are we just doing personalities?
No, personality and skill. Like, definitely skill.
Okay, I guess my Rex Ryan, then I would probably take him out.
But his personality
makes up for it.
So that's fine.
I mean, I guess I can get your Aaron and Natalia. Fine, give them one more. Arun.
What? Aaron and Natalia.
Arun.
Come on.
Arun. Yeah, Arun.
Wow, you had a thing for Natalia, huh?
But you jobbed them out, Calvert, though.
I did.
So why do you want them back? You jobbed them out all season last year. Just like you jobbed Marcus and Mo. Or Marcus and Michael this season.
Right, because I want to see what Arun's going to say next, right? Because it was Trousers and You Stole My Boat. Right?
Yeah.
You Stole My Boat. Those were the 2 memorable lines that he had. Right? Because Goldberg continued to sing that refrain for Trousers for about 3 weeks. No, fine. It's all right.
Well, obviously, I'm taking. Okay, so let's just take this question a little further and just build an all-star season for the last three seasons. I'm taking obviously D'Angelo and Gary. There's no question there. I want to see the revenge. But then Ishwar and Apana, I'm putting them back because they had beef, and I think they could
You
settle.
love the teams with no personality. You love
Mm,
them.
Did you see Apana in the last episode there? Did you forget about that when she went? She had her Austin 316 moment. Leo and Alana.
I think I fell asleep.
that's true.
Did she?
That's a rivalry you got to put back on there.
I think Leo deserves it, man. I think he deserves another shot, and not necessarily with Alana, but pair this guy up with
Leo
somebody.
back on there. Are you putting the flight attendants back on there? I think you should.
Wait,
I think they would make it. They took second last year. That was Calbert's repick.
Yep, that was my repick.
Oh, Kayla.
The flight attendants. Yeah. Whatever
the
they
girl.
were. Yeah.
The ugly girls.
They weren't ugly.
No, one of them was decent. One of them was ugly.
Oh, I thought they were both.
No?
I thought they were decent.
Am I mistaken? Wasn't it Kayla and something?
It's Kayla and Raquel. He's right. It's Kayla
and Raquel. Raquel was good looking.
They did finish second.
Yeah, and they actually should have won.
Well, yeah, they were first, and then the Holderness came back and beat them. Right. I'm putting Holderness. I'm putting all the winners back. If I'm doing an All-Star season, I'm getting Gary, D'Angelo.
I think I'm going with Holderness, Will and James, and Leo and Alana. Nah, but then again, they'll fucking team up those two.
Yeah, I want no alliance. No
alliance.
Yeah.
Will and James.
Yeah, I want
Leo deserves it. He's the biggest heel of the last 3 seasons.
You love that, Leo. Wait, no. Since we're going back to season 32, I want the 2 guys from Kentucky who got eliminated episode 1. Those guys were a good time.
Yeah.
Bring those guys back.
Wait, what was one of the?
They deserve a rerun.
Where were they from? It was like Boredom, Kentucky.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that.
What was the name?
Paint Lick. Was it Paint Lick?
There you go. They were Paint Lickers.
Yeah, that's
Paint
right.
Licker.
That's right.
Team Paint Licker. Bring them back.
Nice
Bring them
memory.
back. Remember they were dancing? Remember they were like the cha-cha before they got eliminated? That was great.
They were dancing at the
together, right? As they were leaving, if I remember right. Yeah.
Yes.
No fucks given. They did not care.
No. That's why I want them back. I want them and Rex Ryan because at least I'm guaranteed one of them to be in 2 episodes. So
Paint Licker.
Yes. Oh gosh, this has been good. All right, guys, we're really kind of derailing this. Let's do our final comments before we get out of here. Calbert, you got any final thoughts on this?
It's a good season. I probably would bring back Emily and Molly. I mean, if I were doing this seriously, I was kind of joking, half joking.
Yeah, they probably would deserve it.
Back Emily and Molly. Yeah. I'd bring Ryan and Dusty. But I thought this was a good season. Overall, it did what it did, right? It does what it does. It piques my interest every week. While we do it, and that's the fun part, right? We don't necessarily know who's going to win, right? That's why we watch it. So yeah, overall good season. Best one ever? No, but it's memorable, So
my final comment. I'm just going to rank it. I didn't think the season was that good. I think it. Maybe you could
spoken like a loser. I mean, what?
Hey, I didn't lose anything. I don't know what season you were watching.
I can't.
I'm still hiding under the ring.
Yeah.
I'm still hiding under the ring.
All right.
Next season, and your
I didn't lose anything last season either.
Yeah,
who gets first pick next season?
And they get eliminated first.
And then I'm gonna say I don't really think this season was that good. I think you could argue it was better than last season, but last season had a stronger cast, I thought.
Sure.
And I feel the reason why last season wasn't good was the obvious. Right. But I will say, if I'm going against some other seasons, maybe this was better than season 27. But I would say, since I've been like starting watching it from the live, I would say this is towards the bottom.
Okay.
Who has the first pick next season?
I do.
He does.
All right. I'm gonna take Mark and Brian.
Who?
I made that up.
He's
I mean, you probably are already looking at spoilers. You probably got your contact in Hong Kong and
yeah,
I
right.
just called Derek. I just called Derek and Claire, and they told me Mark and Brian win.
Right, Mark and Brian are winning.
Where's the thing here?
So, but Goldberg, final comments.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Actually, I don't think it was that great of a season, but I'm glad I picked a winner. Glad I'm 3 for 3, and
Go ahead.
that.
Enjoy the third pick.
I have the third pick.
You do.
I might
Does
just
it really?
try to.
Let's be honest.
block
Does it
your
really matter
strategy.
who has what pick? Come on.
It's kind of a horse apiece.
You're gonna take the next like Brett. You're probably take Brett Favre.
Yeah, Brett Favre. I don't think so. I can tell you why Brett Favre won't be on this show, but it would have to be off the air.
That's true. But you'll take an athlete. Whatever athlete's on the show, you're in. Like you're totally bought in.
You know, if Rex Ryan was like in shape, I may have picked him. Like if he was like 20 years younger and in shape, maybe I'd pick him. But
Thanasis Antetokounmpo was on that season.
Oh, the Antetokounmpos would be great on this show. Giannis and would be great. I think they'd be great.
Although, as much as I want my wish for you to pick your first pick for your team to get eliminated in the first week, I don't know necessarily now that I've said it out loud that I actually want that to happen, because then it's just going to be repetitive every single week. My team got eliminated. That
You know what though? I honestly would prefer that to not getting eliminated and not finishing. I think at least you'd get closure on your team and how they. Okay, let you know they're bad.
Yeah.
You know, you just know they're bad, and that's fine. You take your loss, but when there's something like this where you can't see them finish like wherever they were supposed to be, it sucked. But I'm ready for season 35. I got good vibes for it. I got good vibes going. So, all right, time to send this one out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed the amazing reviews for season 34. We will be back next season. Peace.
Have a good night, everybody.